Hello, my dear friends. Today we're talking about decluttering your pantry. Today we are in Tuesday when I'm putting this out. This is the week of Tuesday where we're working in the kitchen. So the pantry is part of the kitchen. And if your pantry is so hard to find things in, or you're afraid things are in there might need to be thrown away, or it might be a little buggy in there, it's time to declutter the pantry. It could be the whole week's work if you want to, because remember, we only work in 15-minute increments. I have seen many of my favorite people that I watch on YouTube that still do their pantries like in 1 or 2 big giant days. And I disagree. I think it needs to be done in little bits so that you can get it done without overwhelming yourself, ignoring your family, and ignoring your house. Okay? So I would take my pantry in 4 days. I would divide it into 4 parts, and I would work on part A, B, C, and D for 15 minutes each. If your pantry is humongous or it hasn't been touched in years, it might take you, it might be a little project where you maybe need to work on it for 30 minutes 4 times this week, or for 2 hours on Saturday. But I wouldn't go past that. When you do that, you don't do, this is your zone, this is what you're going to work on, and you're going to keep working on it. If you can't get it done in that amount of time, then I want you to back off of it, and then the next time we come to the kitchen, do it again, and do it again until your pantry is tidy. So first of all, you're going to think about organization. Organization is putting like things together. So you determine what like things are because it's your pantry. For me, it would be canned goods, it would be baking goods, it would be cereals, it would be noodles and pastas, it would be cake mixes, things like that. Those would all be in their own little spaces. Jarred items, things that I like, pickled beets in a jar, those would be in their pickles. Condiments, everything would have their own spot. Doesn't mean that they take up the whole shelf, but you know where to go for the mustard and ketchup. You know where to go for the pickles. You know where to go for the flour and sugar. You don't have to have pretty little baskets with little signs on them. It's nice. It's convenient. If you have them, that's fine, but that's not your major. Your major thing is that you're getting out all the clutter and trash, things that don't belong in there, and putting things that do belong in there in an organized spot. And later on, you might want to evolve to baskets if that's something you want to do. But for right now, let's just get it looking nice. You know, in the 1950s, when I was raised, no one ever had a basket in their pantry. We had nice big pantries, but it was just arranged like I told you, and it worked great. So it is cute and it is sweet to have a basket, but you don't have to have one. So don't overthink this, okay? So that's what I want you to do. I want you to work in your pantry. Now, you're going to need a plan. You can't just go in there and say, okay, I'm going to work in section A. Maybe section A is this top shelf. So you have to have a plan of what you're going to do with the things in there. If you've determined that you want to keep, maybe on your top shelf you have or need to put or would like to put those heavier, bigger cooking things like your Instant Pot, your crock pot, the popcorn popper, things you don't use every single day. And even if you do, that's where they're going to live. There's so many things. What do you call that thing? The chopper thing. I can't think of what it's called. You know what I'm saying? Your mixer, all those things. Maybe you're going to put them up there. But then you decide, you know what, if I do that, where am I going to put all this other stuff? Maybe those things that are non-food items need to go in another space. Maybe those cabinets in the garage would be better because then I would have more room, especially if you have small spaces. In this RV, we have, see that little shelf up there? That's my books, but there are shelves just like that all the way across, and we have groceries in those. So we have to keep that, we don't have all that space. So you might have a small space too, maybe several spaces that you keep your groceries in. Just put like things together the best you can, and don't overbuy. That's another thing. If you are not doing your planner, if you don't have meal planning going on, if you're not trying to use up what you have and you're just making up recipes from your head or something you saw on TV that you think would be great or something you found on Pinterest, you can't just do that because you're going to end up with so much food it'll go bad in your pantry. You'll notice this pasta's been in here for how long and now it has little bugs in it, maybe. Hope not. But you know, you don't want to do that. So 1 thing of rice, 1 thing of spaghetti, 1 thing of vermicelli, those kinds of things would be fine. Maybe two. It depends on the size of your family and the size of your pantry. But make sure that you're not overbuying for your pantry. And I know during this time, people are really talking about stocking up. If that's something you want to do and you don't have space in your pantry, I would suggest that you get under the bed plastic bins, and you can put canned goods or flattened out bags of rice or noodles and things like that in those containers that seal, and they can slide under your bed so they're in a cool spot, not in the hot garage. Some people's are too cold to garage. Some people have garages they feel comfortable doing that in. Some people do not. So for extra storage, that's what I would do. You're going to have to be creative. All right. What else can we talk about? How about the cleanliness of the pantry? After you've organized your pantry, you probably want to clean it, or you might even want to clean it as you go, especially if there's crumbs on the shelves, if they're closed shelves, not the open railed shelves. And even the open railed shelves can get sticky things on it, maybe molasses dripped on it or whatever. So take a nice warm rag and a soapy pail of water with you, so as you do each shelf, you can give it a little wipe down. And then once everything's done, you can sweep out the pantry, and then maybe even mop the pantry before you put back the things that you want to store on the floor of the pantry. Another suggestion I would give you is that if you have shopping bags, that you put the biggest shopping bag is the one that would stand on the floor or on the shelf, and inside of that you would put your individual shopping bags. And I like to take the shopping, let's say this is the top of the shopping bag, fold it over so it's like, I can't make it, but it's flat like that, and then put the next one and the next one and the next one down in there so that at the top all those handles aren't hanging out and they're not flopping over the top. It looks tidy. You can see what you have. You don't need thousands of bags, but you can fit quite a few in one big bag. So that's a suggestion for consolidation of your shopping bags if you're using shopping bags. All right, I hope this helps you with your pantry. I know that this isn't hands-on. I'm not actually showing you things in the pantry, but you know what your pantry looks like. And I know that this has sparked some great ideas for you. So if your pantry needs cleaning, then clean it, because once you have an idea of what's really in your pantry, you can use up the things that you bought to use. Okay, that's it for today. I want you to remember that prayer changes things and that you are beautiful. So be beautiful.